And it's another Friday morning live here in the nation's capital, Abuja, where we, of course, want to welcome you to the morning show here on Global Television. My name is Adikan Michael, and of course, I'm not just going to be doing these morning divisions of the program alone. I have my colleague joins me live here to discuss and, of course, brings you some highlights of the morning show. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, Mike. You look like a senator this morning.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to represent my constituency maybe in the next election.
Oh, that's
so I'm trying to
beautiful.
gather a lot of funds to see what could happen. You know,
that's a
in
step in the
Nigeria's
right
election, if
direction.
you don't have funds, you are playing. There's no how you can actually get it right.
Absolutely. Election requires money. But that's a step in the right direction. I like that you're looking
Absolutely.
towards that and you're dressing the part.
I was bothered because I felt you were part of the cabinet members of Kenya that was dissolved yesterday. I don't know how I would have actually sympathized with you on that occasion. But anyways, good morning.
I'm not a part. Good morning. Good morning. Now.
It's a beautiful morning live here, and of course, a pleasure to have you join us on the program where we'll be taking some package, some highlight and discussion and what is really happening. Today is Friday. At the course of the week, we've seen several events. Just of yesterday, local government autonomy was granted fully for the independence, financial independence of the local government administrations in Nigeria. Part of those credence was given to the president for the fact that he came on board and promised that he's going to grant full autonomy to the local government. And of course, he's receiving some accolades from the grassroots. But what we are yet to see is a statement from the Governors Forum. Because we know that the ones who have really been fighting, dragging over these issues of autonomy with the local government. So we are waiting to get the official statement from the Governors Forum where we're going to see their reactions on the Supreme Court judgment. We've seen other governors like Governor of Anambra State, we've seen Governor of Cross River State commending the judgment that it's a good one for democracy. Even the president have also commented on that. That was, a judgment many Nigerians were looking for, because the argument, we can't supersede the argument over the disadvantage you have for granting autonomy to the local government. So kudos to the judiciary for serving the grassroots this time around, where the people seems to be happy about the judgment because it has to do with the people. And that's what we've always been looking for in the Nigerian judiciary. Sometimes it's always as if that we have so many attacks on the judiciary. But we always want the right thing to be done. We always want judgment that reflects, the plight of the people, what the people want, and, away from the technicalities or sometimes interpretation in the court of law. To me, this has all further boost, confidence of Nigerians to believe in the Supreme Court, to believe in the judiciary system. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. We want to see a situation where the judiciary is independent and free of political affiliations, where they're able to give judgments without bias. And so it would boost the confidence of Nigerians as we see play out today. And we want to see that not just for this situation or this case alone, but we want to see that subsequently happen. Let us have a situation where I am confident in the judgment of the judiciary. I'm confident in the take of, the courts, so that, whenever there are issues like this, the reason why a lot of people do what they do or go the other way or take decisive measures themselves or choose to settle a matter themselves out of court is because they've lost faith and they've lost hope in the judiciary. They feel like, if I take this matter to court, if this matter is settled in court, it is not going to be fair, because they believe over time what has happened has been unfair. And so we want to see more of the judiciary in this light as regarding any matter.
Absolutely. Kudos for the Nigerian Supreme Court and the fact that the judgment this time around is coming to serve the grassroots, is coming to serve democracy, because we can't keep on counting the many advantages and over the disadvantage we have for local government autonomy. We've seen what the governors have done. They have not fully granted autonomy to the local government for the many years. We've been battling with this development in the grassroots. We've been battling with some development in the local government administration. Some are yet to conduct election. And now the House of Reps are making a swift turn this time to argue that those governments and those governors who haven't conducted local government elections should not be given allocation of the local government at this July allocation. But we're going to see what plays out at the course of that negotiation between them, the federal government and the grassroots, because it happens that this reflects what the people really wanted. There are other many events that happened at the course of the week. But, just yesterday was the highlight of that. But for now, it's a pleasure to have you join us on the morning show. We'll be taking another discussion of the fact that yesterday as well, the ECOWAS court gave a ruling indicting the federal government for breaching the human rights of Nigerians on the EndSARS protests of 2020. I mean, years after, we're still counting the fact that we haven't felt any change. We haven't seen any development from what Nigerians were engaging the federal government with, what Nigeria were engaging the street with, what Nigeria were engaging the police with, and all of those things. So some of the things that we thought could bring change, wasn't in any way reflective to that particular protest. So, but the court yesterday, ECOWAS court, gave a ruling that the fact that the federal government had breached the human right for the violation of the fact that people were exercising their rights to protest. But what happens when you took some life, the cost of this? We'll be highlighting that the cost of the morning show today, where we'll be taking an expert, a legal practitioner, will be joining us on the program to give us a perspective to that understanding and also see how we can be able to marry all of this. We've seen that many reports were given aftermath of the protests, but we haven't seen any implementation, nothing yet to show for Nigerians, and that's where we're still holding it. Police brutality queen is still on the high side. We've seen people still being victims of, brutality from the police. It seems we haven't learned a lot because sometimes Nigeria do not get to learn from the past, and we are bothered that it may have to happen again.
We sincerely hope that it doesn't happen again, but from the experiences that we have counted and we are encountering, it seems like we never learn, and that's because of the incidents that happened during the EndSARS protests. People did not really get justice as expected. People who were peaceful protesters came out en masse to protest the brutality of the Nigerian police force and, other parastatals, as we see. But glad that the issue of SARS has been put away, but I think SARS is still being portrayed in the Nigerian police. It was EndSARS, but we still see that. We still see police breaking rules, jumping fences, climbing burglaries to go arrest people in their houses. So that's brutality and that's invasion of privacy, quite frankly. And people should also learn to avail themselves to, police search and all of that because they're authorities. But police going to your house at very ungodly hours.
Unprofessionally.
Yes, very unprofessional. The police needs to be reoriented as to what privacy sometimes means, as to how to go about arrest.
Exactly, because sometimes you have to get a court order for you to, forcefully go to invade a house. Sometimes, even on the street, walking, that stops you, bring out your phone, they want to start invading your phone. You haven't gotten any security, information about me and all of that. So I think with the technology we have on ground, there's a way they should go about, discharging their duties. So a lot of reformations are expected on that sector. But, that will be part of another discussion on the program this morning, where we'll take a look at that. But for now, let's get to go on a break. And once we return from the break, we'll bring you some package report we have for you this morning. Don't forget that this is Global Morning on Global Television. Just stay with us.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofwebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight,
what is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okere tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Get ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more. All on Entertainment Circle on Global Television. From the hottest red carpet events to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung Annabelle Joseph on Global Television.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first. Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and a repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
It's time for sports' biggest moments
On Global Television,
the headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are definitely. Can we not say that dynamic because
That this country gets it right?
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofwebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
for insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
For an insightful
Many thanks everyone for staying with us. Still on Global Morning. There was a twist of an event at the House of Representatives where the Minister of Women Affairs was appearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs. And of course, some allegations were brought to the front burner. And part of those arguments was the fact that there was an allegation of 1.5 billion non-payment to contractors. Some of these things had caused some rift between the minister and the minister and the committee members of the Women Affairs. And there was a repetition of what happened in 2020. Honorable Minister, off your mic, we saw that outplay at the plenary, the committee sitting, trying to make some reviews of the performance of the Ministry of Women Affairs. But, you would love to get this view. Take a listen to what really played out at the House of Representatives Committee.
For 2023, from the Accountant General's office, was it released to the account of the Ministry of Women Affairs, yes or no?
Honorable Minister and your team, Mr. DFA, I'm at a loss because fortunately I attended the last meeting, and one of the reasons why we took you on oath was to get the truth from you, and today you have deviated. You have deviated because you did say, yes, there was release of money, and you take instruction from principal. And there and then, I confronted permanent secretary. He said he was not in the known. And I still making my statement that you are running the ministry with your minister. Both of you will be
I take exception to this. Please don't interrupt, honorable member. Don't interrupt.
I take exception to this.
Don't interrupt, honorable member. Please let her finish.
I am not
stop interrupting, honorable member.
She should.
Honorable minister, calm down. Honorable minister, calm down. Honorable minister, calm down.
I'm repeating what I said. I confronted the permanent secretary and the DFA last week Thursday. I'm still alive talking. You did say it's what they approved to you. I said, Mr. Pam said, what happened? You are not in the known. I said, look, I was twice commissioner in my state, and the accounting officer is the permanent secretary. Please, you people should work with the permanent secretary. Didn't I say so, Mr. DFA? I am still saying it because from the revelations, what's coming out is one-man show. One-man show you people are doing two-man show.
Can I talk to you?
We will call you when you have to call. Just calm down. Don't worry. You will talk. You will have your time. You will have your time. Honorable Minister, you will have your time. You will have your time. Yes.
No fairness here. It's a trap. It's a trap, but I'm not going to jump into it.
Thank you, Chairperson.
I will not jump into the trap.
Please, Honorable Minister.
I fear nothing. I've stolen nothing.
Honorable Minister, you will have your time to talk.
Tamper with anything. That's why I not fear anybody. I'm not
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister.
Honorable Minister, we are working with records. We are Honorable Minister. Records. We are working with records.
On the issue of the contract, even the ones given while I was there, they have not been paid. Yes, they have.
And that's the committee. Honorable Minister, it's okay, off your mic. I mean, that was a controversy between the Minister, Honorable Uju, facing, and of course, a very heated committee in respect to some allegations. Queen, we've seen the repetition of what happened in the Ministry of Niger Delta. Now it's a Women Affairs. I understand as a women champion, you may see some noble women out there display. But, I mean, it's commendable because we sometimes have to see the House of Reps doing their job, getting those persons accountable for some, allegations and all of those things.
Yes, especially when it comes to finance and money like this. Let us see the paperwork on how money was allocated and how it was spent. I love panels like this and people who hold people accountable regardless your status, regardless of the status or position that you occupy. But in what played out, I think now talking about decorum also as well, while the probe was going on, although it looked like an allegation, which maybe there could have been a better way to amicably, talk about these things without having to enter into a dispute of some sort, ask questions and then ask questions that in a manner that is not accusing just yet.
Because the minister was taking it very personal.
The minister was taking it personal, of course, because she felt like she wasn't given the opportunity to speak yet, she felt like she was being accused directly of squandering 1.5 billion naira without. But from what I heard, she said she has paperwork of how the money was spent, and she fears no evil. So it is expected for some sort of decorum. We expect some sort of decorum, but I like that they're able to
doing their job.
Do their job. This kind of panel and setup to question public office holders.
It's really commendable because we've seen many ministers go away with, the fact that several after the approval of government allocations to their ministry, sometimes we can't even know what meant for. The proper utilizations of some funds allocated to the ministry. But this time around, it seems the 10th House of Reps are taking things very unlikely because we've seen very not trying to open for those persons that have appeared before the committee. Sometimes they said I'm sick. Sometimes we've seen people slumps in the course of trying to answer some questions at the panel there. But it's a good way for democracy for us to continue to tackle some of these issues and get accountability from the representative, from the ministers, from the executive and all arms of government. So we may say kudos to the House of Reps. We want more of that so that we can actually get a lot of these corruption cases forthwith to the brim. But let's get to receive some sports package from Anthony Mamodu, where we highlight some major sports story before we bring you news at 7:30.
To sports news update. 10-man Colombia defeated Uruguay 1-0 to reach the final of Copa America for the first time in 23 years after an ill-tempered semi-final on Wednesday. A 39-minute Jefferson Lemar header sealed victory for the Colombians, who will now face holders Argentina in Sunday's final in Miami. The semi-final, which was played in front of a packed and passionate crowd, ended with scuffles on the field and fighting in the stands, including several players who had climbed in among supporters amid flying punches. Colombia, despite having Daniel Munoz sent off just before the interval and facing plenty of Uruguayan pressure, hung on for a famous victory to the delight of their massive following of fans. Liverpool star Darwin Núñez and other Uruguayan players were involved in a brawl with Colombian fans. The brawl erupted after their 1-0 Copa American semi-final defeat on Wednesday. Uruguay striker Núñez unleashed a fury of punches at Colombian supporters after jumping into the spectators sitting at the Charlotte Bank of America Stadium following an ill-tempered loss to Colombia. Uruguayan central defender Jose Maria Jimenez said players had leaped into the melee out of concern for the safety of family members and loved ones watching the game. England have reached Euro 2024 final after superb sub Oli Watkins fired home a last-gap winner against Holland to send the nation into delirium. Gareth Southgate's side have become the first England team in history to reach the final of the major tournament overseas, where they will face Spain in Berlin on Sunday, and Watkins emerged as the team's unlikely hero, striking home a brilliant winner following fellow substitute Cole Palmer's pass. Dutch fans have insisted they were robbed by a controversial penalty decision in their 2-1 semi-final loss to England on Wednesday night. The Netherlands had gone in front after 7 minutes through Xavi Simons, but England came back into the game and earned a penalty 11 minutes later. Bukayo Saka slammed into the box before having his shot blocked, and the follow-up dropped to Harry Kane, who fired over the bar before being caught by Denzel Dumfries on the ankle, and it was painful blow to the Three Lions captain, and following a VAR intervention, a penalty was given, which Kane duly converted to bring England level. But new footage has emerged that appears to show Saka handling the ball before Kane took his shot and was fouled by Dumfries. Virgil van Dijk has launched a tirade on referee Felix Zaya after England booked their place in the final of Euro 2024. The Three Lions progressed to the last two, where they will take Spain on Sunday as they bid to lift the first ever European Championship 3 years after they lost in the final of Euro 2020 after trailing through a Xavi Simons stunner. Harry Kane netted from the penalty spot on the back of a contentious call that involved a VAR check and was slammed by pundits and fans. Then, on the verge of full-time, Oli Watkins scored, having come off the bench to send England to the Sunday's final, but that goal too wasn't without controversy, with Netherlands believing they should have been awarded a corner in the build-up. After the game, Captain Van Dijk slammed Zaya for his performance, suggesting his full-time actions told the story of how his performance went. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony.
Hello and welcome to all of viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Deacon Michael. President Bola Tinubu has lauded the Supreme Court's judgment affirming the constitutional right of local government, emphasizing its critical role in advancing effective governance at the grassroots level. In a statement release, Tinubu highlighted the importance of the judgment, describing it as a reaffirmation of the Constitution. The statement was signed by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale. He noted that ineffective local government administration has been a significant obstacle to national progress, with governance at the grassroots level nearly non-existent. Vice President Kashim Shettima has stressed the need for improved data collection, analysis and deployment of technology to generate more comprehensive and inclusive evidence to guide government actions and decisions, investment choices, and pathway to development. The Vice President said deploying the best technology to strengthen data systems and institutions, upgrading human resources and capacities, and promoting partnership that will facilitate generating and using inclusive data will guarantee a resilient and equitable future for all Nigerians. Speaking during the commemoration of the 2024 World Population Day at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Shettima observed that this year's theme, which recognizes the power of data and emphasizes the promises of inclusive data, is instructive. The Nigerian Labour Congress says it will praise for 250,000 naira minimum wage during the planned meeting it had with the president at the State House. The head of public affairs of the Congress, Benson Obad, stated that Labour is insisting on the 250,000 proposed during the session with the president. Labour leaders were invited to the president to meet with the president in furtherance of Tinubu's promise to hold more consultation with stakeholders on the minimum wage. The Kebbi State government has reiterated its commitment to continue to promote culture and tradition to strengthen the unity of the people. The State's Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Kebbi, started these at the first Unity Cultural Festival organized by the Ministry of Information and Culture at Aliyu Abiodun Stadium in Benin Kebbi. Kikolomo Kere completes the report.
Culture has colossal potency for unity and social cohesion among diverse groups in the society. As such, the administration of Nasir Idris of Kebbi State says it will incorporate promotion of culture among its policy trusts. Kebbi State Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Ahmed Binin Kebbi says Governor Kaura Gwandu has placed premium on developing culture for social cohesion, unity and economic growth, hence his support to the Ministry of Information and Culture to stage the first cultural festival of unity in the state.
The culture that we have too, the vast culture, very rich, and we first the need at the ministry level for the first time in the history of Kebbi State to organize independently a mini cultural show that will feature all the ethnic, some of the ethnic groups that we have in Kebbi State. And the idea is to show the culture, enjoy it, and explore the possibilities of uniting the state. And about 13 ethnic groups. That tells you that we are looking for unity and diversity, and I think it's going to be a yearly affair from now on.
The permanent secretary in the ministry, Seyidi Buhari Wara, urged participants to use the platform as a veritable tool for peace and unity in the society. He further urged artists and performers to strive to instill virtue of tolerance through their performance into farmers and others to enhance economic fortune and peace.
Let me use the medium to urge the participants to see the forum like this as a veritable tool through which peace, unity, and diverse cultural heritage is transmitted and promoted.
To make it known that, inshallah, this event is going to be sustained. We are collaborating, my office is collaborating with the Honorable Commissioner of Information to see that peace and unity, particularly the propagation of government programs and activities, are carried out in the state.
Among the groups that showcase cultural talent were Fulani, Zambara, Dikaki, Kambari, Tiv, Igbo, and Yoruba, to the delight of spectators. Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the gathering of African descendants in Abuja. The event, scheduled for October 2024, is expected to draw over 2,000 participants from across the globe. The homecoming event, organized by the African Descendants in Diaspora Union in partnership with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, aims to strengthen ties between Nigeria and its diaspora community. Now, the appeal court in Abuja has confirmed Usman Ododo's election as the governor of Kogi State. A three-member panel of the court delivered a judgment dismissing the election petition filed by the Social Democratic Party and the governorship candidate Murtala Ayaka. The appellate court dismissed the appellant's claims, saying that they failed to present credible evidence to substantiate the allegations of electoral malpractice, overvoting, and certificate forgery. Now, to the National Assembly, the Senate has rejected a bill seeking to use gold to shore up the nation's reserves in defense of the economy. The bill, sponsored by Sani Musa, was thrown out of the debate by lawmakers who opposed it. Musa stated that the bill was read for the first time on Tuesday, February 20, 2024. He noted that the bill sought to repeal the Foreign Exchange Monitoring and Miscellaneous Provisions Act of the Chapter 34 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish a foreign exchange market in Nigeria to make provision for the control, monitoring, and supervision of transactions conducted in the foreign exchange market. The military high command says it has put in place measures to forestall plans of the enemies to target some critical infrastructure in the country. Addressing journalists on the operational activities of the troops in the various theaters of operation, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said security agencies responsible for security critical infrastructure and facilities has been placed on alerts. Kikolo Makere completes the report.
Major General Edward Buba says the military is keeping up the pressure through ongoing operation in 5 active theaters across the country, with the northeast and northwest having the highest level of intensity. He noted that the operations are complex as troops are engaged in fighting in difficult terrain and adversaries that adopt various forms across the country.
That they even get women in their camps for their pleasures. All these add to the complexities of our ongoing operation. In essence, the terrorists have a support base of collaborators, and we must fish out these collaborators. That is the reason I keep repeating that winning the war without the support of the people is close to impossible.
In the South-South zone, the director says the troops denied the oil theft of over 1 billion naira while destroying 18 dugout pits, 30 boats and 40 storage tanks.
Troops neutralized 187 terrorists during the week, even as we arrested 183 persons. Troops also arrested 43 perpetrators of oil theft, as we rescued 109 kidnapped hostages across the country during the week.
The military high command pledged to continue to fight for the safety and the security of citizens while safeguarding the nation. Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SARAP, has called on the 36 state governors and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to immediately account for and return the local government funds which they have collected over the years. SARAP's appeal came in at weeks of the Supreme Court ruling that declared the practice of state governors and the FCT ministers withholding and utilizing funds intended for local government unconstitutional. In a statement signed by SARAP Deputy Director Kawale, the organization said it applauds the Supreme Court for the groundbreaking decision and one it believes will end the persistent alleged misappropriation running into several of trillions of the federal allocation meant for local government. A former Minister of Power, Sele Maman, collapsed yesterday, outside the courtroom of the Federal Capital Territory High Court. Counsel to the former Minister Femi Atej-San told Justice James Omotosho when he was called to take his plea that his client, whose plea was fixed for Thursday morning, collapsed outside the courtroom prior to his case being called. However, he made it into the courtroom. The ex-minister stepped into the dock with part of his clothes drenched. You're watching AM News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using our Global TV engine and other handles now showing the screen. When AM News returns, we're in Cathedral Spire on fire as building evacuated. These and other stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelomo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Get ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more. All on Entertainment Circle on Global Television. From the hottest red carpet event to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung Annabelle Joseph on Global Television.
You're still watching AM News here on Global Television. Now to continue the news on foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden will gave his first press conference as his debate is against Donald Trump in a pressure cooker moment that could seal the fate of his re-election yesterday. The eyes of the world was on the 81-year-old at the NATO summit as he tries to calm growing calls from the Democratic Party to step aside over his age and health. The White House has deputed the big Roy press conference, and Biden was under severe pressure to show how he can handle what he has become a rare unscripted moment in the presidency. Kenyan President William Ruto announced the dismissal of almost his entire cabinet in consultation to form a broad-based government following the widespread anti-government protests. Ruto says his decisions would apply to all ministers, including the Attorney General, but his excluded Foreign Minister Musalia. The East African nation was left reeling after peaceful rallies last month to protest planned steep tax increase fled into the deadly violence, with the police firing at crowds who stormed the Parliament of Kenya, leaving it partly ablaze. Led largely by young people, the protests plunged Ruto's administration into the most serious crisis of his presidency, forcing him to abandon the tax hikes and scramble to contain the damage. Now, the spire of famous Gothic cathedral in the French city of Rennes was on fire with the firefighters on the scene battling the blaze. Images showed black smoke billowing from the canopy and scuff loading at the top of the building, which is around 150 meters tall. The fire's origin is unknown at the point. Major Nichols said having that all public resources are mobilized in response. The long-range U.S. missiles are to be deployed periodically in Germany for 2026 for the first time since the Cold War, in addition announced at the NATO's 45th anniversary summit. A toward cruise and the hypersonic missiles have a significantly longer range than existing missiles, the U.S. and Germany said in a joint statement. Such missiles will have been banned under a 1988 treaty between the U.S. and the former Soviet Union, but the pact fell apart 5 years ago. And the Israeli military has told all residents of Gaza City to evacuate south to the central Gaza Strip amid the intensified operations in the north. The lead flight dropped by the aircraft instruct everyone in Gaza City to leave what is described as a dangerous combat zone via the designated safe route, which marked two roads that led to shelters in the Deir Bala and the Al Zawaida. The United Nations has said it is deeply concerned about the evacuation orders being given. It is the second time since the war began that Gaza City as a whole has been asked to evacuate. And now, away from that, let's take a look at the business. The United States Agency for International Development and the Federal Ministry of Power signed a memorandum of understanding to secure Nigeria's commitment to electricity sector reforms, the market transparency and liquidity, and expanding access to affordable power. Both parties announced this in a statement issued in Abuja by the Power Ministry. The understanding was signed by the U.S. agency and Nigerian Mission Director Melissa Jones and the Permanent Secretary Federal Ministry of Power Mahmouda Maman to support the implementation of a 115.2 billion naira U.S. government grant-funded a technical assistance, the program intended to support power sector development and reforms in the country. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to revisit the school feeding program suspended over sundry controversies. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program was a pilot program launched in 2004 targeting 12 states to provide a nutritious midday meal to public primary school pupils in the country. In 2016, the program was relaunched nationally, targeting the public primary school children using locally sourced ingredients to improve the health and stimulate agricultural production and boost the smallholder farmers' income. Allow the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers and Petroleum and Natural and Senior Staff Association have jointly demanded an investigation into the alleged sabotage by the international oil companies to undermine and destabilize the operations of Dangote Refinery and the Pro Chemical Company. The two associations met the call in Lagos via a letter addressed to President Bola Tinubu in ensuring that the operation of the Dangote Refinery is not hampered. The unions further charged federal government to take decisive action to safeguard the refinery for the benefit of the nation, saying that protecting a national asset is a collective responsibility. Now, Nigerians have appealed to the federal government to evolve the means of putting an end to the continuous and arbitrary increase in food prices. This is coming on the heels of the ongoing food crisis affecting the daily lives of many Nigerians. Global TV's Queen Agaba went on the market survey and now brings us details.
Inflation and economic challenges have driven up the prices of basic food items. As a result, millions of Nigerians are experiencing food insecurity, with many struggling to afford and access the nutritious food necessary for a healthy life. Conducting a market survey with emphasis on comparing prices from what it was to what it is now, traders lament the rising food prices, disrupted supply chains, and many economic challenges that make feeding and doing business difficult.
Things are very expensive. Even before, you can buy gari 200 naira, mudu 200 or 150, but now gari is 1,500 now. I don't know what this country is happening. Even sugar, now even to feed is the problem to us. Even our children, even school fees. What is happening in this country? Things are very expensive. Even before, you can buy gari 200 naira, mudu 200 or 150, but now gari is 1,500 now. I don't know what this country is happening. Even sugar, now even to feed is the problem to us. Even mangi now, mangi they are selling before 10, 15 naira, sometimes 5, 20 naira, but now one mangi is 120 naira. Everything are very expensive. Before you can buy meat 300 naira. You can buy 500 naira. Now you cannot buy even meat 300 or 500 naira or 1,000 naira.
Price of cow now is increasing all the time. Cow we used to buy 500,000 before. Now we buy cow 1.2 million, 1.3 million to kill. And one cage is 6,000 naira each one cage now. And our customers are complaining.
Traders beckon on the government to pay urgent attention and coordinated efforts to mitigate its impact on the vulnerable population.
Look at fuel now. As it increases every month, our president said we should have patience. He will do something. We are wanting to see what he's doing. Rather, he's increasing the fuel every blessed day. Imagine gari, poor man food. I didn't know whether our presidents are eating gari or what. Why the gari is so high like that? By this hour, we are buying gari 1,500 for a mudu. So a time will reach now, a cup will be 1,500.
Before we selling vegetable an amount of 15 naira, now from 15 naira to 100 naira, from 100 naira to 200, which is not fair. If you notice now, a price of spaghetti is now high. Before, a price of spaghetti was 14,000, 13,000. Now you cannot even afford it in that short amount again.
Nigerian traders are calling on the federal government to take proactive measures to curb food crisis in the country, particularly unregulated prices and some economic policies biting hard and greatly affected by many. For Global Television,
Allowing a decisive move to promote food security in the country, the Federal Executive Council has approved the purchase of 2,000 tractors and 4,000 these plugs and 1,200 tractor trailers among other equipment under the National Agricultural Mechanization Program. A presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, took to X, formerly tweeted the outcomes of the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, saying that the equipment will be supplied by Astrid firm, which is also planning to set up assembling plants for some of its equipment in the country. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it will make an official announcement when it's ready to take the earlier reported $2 billion crude-backed loan The company's group chief executive officer, Mele Kari, noted that the NNPCL Limited is in talks for another oil-backed loan to boost its finances and allow investment in its business. A chief operating communication officer of the company, Lufemi Sonoya, said the national oil firm will make an official announcement anytime the company is ready to proceed with the deal. Now, away from that, the Corporate Affairs Commission has announced its intention to cancel the certificate of the incorporation of the Bureau de Change, whose licenses were revoked by the Central Bank of Nigeria earlier this year. In a notice on its website, the Commission said the certificate will be cancelled within 3 months if the affected companies do not change the names and objectives of such companies. And now to sports. Bayern Munich secured the signing of Portugal midfielder Joe from the Fulham for a reported fee of €49 million after coming close to acquiring him last year. A 28-year-old who spent 2 years at the Fulham after arriving from the Sporting Lisbon in 2022 for the €22 million signed a 4-year contract. Bayern has been poised to sign the perennials in 2023. The defensive midfielder had even posed in the club's trip, but the deal fell through just before the transfer window closed when Fulham failed to find a replacement. And now Britain's King Charles has congratulated England on their last grasp of 2-1 victory over the Netherlands in the Euro 2024 semi-finals. However, hoped that there will be less drama in the final, with England winning without needing late goals or penalties. As still on that, LeBron James and Steve made a winning start as the USA teammate in the 86-72 victory over Canada in the pre-Olympics exhibition games in Las Vegas. Two NBA superstars are part of the formidable USA basketball roster that will be chasing a 50th consecutive gold medal when the Paris Olympics get underway this month. James and Kyrie are playing alongside each other for the final time as the international teammate, and they show glimpses of the near telepathic understanding during the game. The Curry finished with 12 points, while James had 7 as the United States recovered from an early 11-1 defeat to Chris out of victory in their final game at home before the Paris. And that's the package on AM News, coming to you live from the nation's capital. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles now shown on the screen. I'm Medican Michael, many thanks for watching. See you shortly.